lacks integrity, honesty, and commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate is Angel Garcia.
Hello everyone. I would just like to thank each and every one of you for attending today and for participating in democracy. I would also like to thank the League of Women Voters for organizing this great event. I would like to start by saying that I grew up in Rose Park. I've been a lifelong resident and lived here my entire life, and I will not change that in any way. I'm grateful for living in the city. I have learned many things while growing up here, and I wish to give back to the city that has given me so much. I want to bring honesty and transparency. I want to make sure that you, the voters' voices are heard, and make sure that each and every one of your interests are met. I would like to say that as I stand here before you, I want to be your elect, and as your elect, I will represent. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last candidate is Miguel Martinez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miguel Martinez. I am your candidate for Oxnard City Council. I'm born and raised here in Oxnard. I went to Blackstock Junior High School, went to Channel Islands High School. I'm also a military veteran. I'm a construction manager. So I've done many construction crews. One thing I would like to say is change has to come to Oxnard. I know a lot of you are probably upset about what's going on, the mismanagement, the misappropriations of funds. A lot of you are angry. So a lot of us, like I said, like myself, I'm done here. The reason I'm here because I want change in Oxnard. I don't want to go down this road anymore. So we need to send a message to the city council. Enough is enough. We want change. We need to get them out.
Thank you. We'll start with Ambrosio for the first question. And if you are elected, you're going to deal with some pretty important issues. So let's hear what your plans are to deal with things such as homelessness, the downtown, supporting businesses, dealing with possibly decommissioning the power plants. See what you can get in there in the 1 minute. And bring that microphone close.
All in one. Yes, as far as the
pull the microphone a little closer, Ambrosio.
as far as the homeless list, we can also convert some of the property that we have that we can convert into homes for the homeless, and also monitor, and be supervised so to make sure we have no problems, and also the crime. And for the plant, when was it built? It was built back in the 1950s. So they're telling us that during this whole time, where's the maintenance? Where is the maintenance for this? Where the money has come from? Where the money has gone? So on that plant like that, we need to find out where all this money has been gone to maintain this plant. Right? How is it being kept? And also to fix the city, the store, let's clean it up a little bit. Let's clean up the front of it. Let's give them, the business owners, some ownership there as far as, making it safe.
Thank you. Francine, same questions to you as far as what are some of your plans if you're elected to deal with things like downtown, homelessness, supporting business, etc.
So the biggest, yes. So the biggest thing is some of our infrastructure. As far as the sewer plant, the water, the Army Corps of Engineers has done superb jobs on getting things like that done. At any time, anyone could have called them to come and go do a consult and have that reviewed. We need to have checks and balances. We can't go offering services when we don't know what we have. We have to have our checks and balances so we know we have enough money to fund those programs, not fund those programs, things like that. Intergovernmental relations. That's a thing we seem to be lacking in Oxnard. We don't always play well with others. I have an Army background. I'm a U.S. Army quartermaster. That means logistics. That means I have to make things move whether I want to or not. And that's a skill and a talent I plan on bringing to the city.
Thank you. And next, John, same question.
Well, this is a very tricky, not tricky, but very complex issues that you're talking about right here. I don't know if I could give exact answers of how I would solve homelessness or how to fix downtown or power plant and what to do for safety within the city. I think that I do a little bit more background check on into this stuff. I could actually come up with solutions for it. I know in businesses, I know we definitely need to change the permit system. We need to make it, you want people to come to Oxnard, not to be turned away when they go to try to get a permit to open a business in their town. I think it's important that, I don't know the power plants,
There's a lot of questions about that. It's a crazy thing out there, these on our beaches. I don't know if they're needed. I don't think they should be here, actually, to be honest with you. And I think that downtown, I love downtown. We're on the right track. It is getting better. After it died in the 60s, it's back better than it's been. We have a long way to go on that. And I think that we could find solutions for that.
Thank you. Daniel, same question. What will you do if you're elected to deal with some of these major issues?
So this is actually a really good thing, because when you all exit out tonight, be sure to visit my table. There's a flyer there, has an 8-point plan that's going to be addressing many of these critical issues that the city of Oxnard faces on a daily basis. Homelessness, public safety, businesses, infrastructure, and how do we move forward as a city. Homelessness, I presented to the Homeless Commission. I've talked with our housing director and pretty much told them straight out, the best way for us to be actually addressing the homeless crisis is not this continuation of the winter warming shelter. It's a Band-Aid method, and every time when we hit the month of March, our city is begging for more money to be able to keep it to the end of the month. We need transitional housing that provides medical care, mental and behavioral health services, job training, financial management, and an opportunity to move into permanent housing. That's what we need to address our homelessness, not the winter warming shelter. Public safety, last year it was reported that the city had an increase of 25% in violent crimes for homicides. That needs to change.
Thank you, Daniel. Angel, same question to you as far as how you'll deal with some of these major issues.
First of all, I would like to make it easier for businesses to invest into the city. However, it is important that these businesses have the interest of the people of Oxnard, and it is important that we cannot allow just any business to come into the city. Secondly, addressing the homeless issue. This is not just a city issue, however, it is also a statewide issue. Currently, California is going through a major housing crisis currently, one of the worst we faced in decades. So it is important that we address this issue head on. Currently, the housing community has came up with a $1 million audit, which is great news. So this is going to help address the homeless committee as well. Also, I would also like to make sure that the Measure O funding is used where it needs to be. The city used that money to address the budget. However, that money belongs to the police officers so they can make sure that they can keep the city safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Miguel, same question to you about your policies if you're elected to deal with things like the economy, business, homelessness, downtown.
Well, the way I see it, ladies and gentlemen, Oxnard needs to be more business friendly. Take away the bureaucratic red tape. Like when you want to get a dance permit, if you open up a business and you want to get a dance permit, it costs you $4,000 just to get a dance permit. That's just outrageous. Like I said, the city of Oxnard needs to be more friendly towards the businesses. If you want to open up businesses, get rid of the red tape that you need to try to open up the business. And concerning the homeless, the state of California is in a crisis concerning the homeless. It's all the way from San Francisco, Los Angeles, Irvine. One thing we do need to act on, though, we have county services that can help people. We have a lot of veterans. One thing I do want to act is an ordinance, because I don't want us, like how Irvine is going through it right now, a tent city. I don't want that going on here in Oxnard. So at some point we need to enact some kind of an ordinance that people just can't go ahead and start popping up tents everywhere on Oxnard Boulevard, Saviors Road, Ventura Road. I don't want that happening here in Oxnard.
Thank you. Carrie, we'll wrap up with you on this question.
Well, the first thing that I want to do is when I get in there is study the city's finances and implement a sound and effective city budget, and stop the current practice of intra-fund borrowing. I would also like to immediately begin proper and quality city infrastructure and maintenance. The roads that are being repaired right now are only being with a short-term repair. They look kind of pretty, but they're only going to last for 5 years. So we want to do stuff right. We want to get it done and do it correctly, and we want to do it now. I also want to create jobs by enticing businesses to stay in Oxnard and to relocate to Oxnard, incentivizing builders to build here and rebuild, create family-friendly places for people to shop and to spend their time, that they can entertain themselves. But most importantly, I'm going to listen to the vote of the people. I'm going to listen to what our citizens have to say.
Thank you, Carrie. Francine, we're going to start with you. I'm going to ask all of you candidates if you could maybe go a little bit quicker, get down to 45 seconds, then I can get one more question in. But we'll still give you a minute if you take it, but hopefully. Francine, question to you. This is what the whole recall started with, was the wastewater heights. If you're elected to the council, will you fulfill the promise of Measure M and repeal the rate hikes back to January 2016? And if so, and it turns out there's a shortfall, how will you make up for it?
So the voters voted 72%, so I will honor that to repeal if allotted, given their current credit situation. It says you cannot repeal the rates. So that's something that would have to legally be reviewed. As far as the shortfall, there are other things, certificates of participation, there's other funding options that can be done to fulfill those gaps. And that's kind of a frustration I've had. The city staff hasn't looked at those options and presented them to council. And I sometimes wonder, and I have said this publicly at council, was council given the best option? Our previous city manager wasn't that great. And he and I had very interesting conversations about that. We'll kind of leave it at there. And I don't believe council was always given the best choice. They were given a bag of rotten tomatoes and told to make something with it. And now all of us are paying for it. It didn't have to come to this. There were other options we could have done, but we're here now, and now we've got to make lemonade out of lemons.
Thank you. John, same question to you. If you were elected, will you fulfill the promise of Measure M and repeal the rate hikes? How would you make up for any shortfall?
Well, as I stated before, when I was interviewed by the Star, the Ventura County Star, I said that I would have probably voted for it in the beginning, but once Measure M passed, I would have rescinded my vote on it. I think that it doesn't have, the rate increase doesn't have to be as high as what they're giving to us. And it's kind of, I don't know where Carmen, we live in the same neighborhood, and my bill is $209 for two people. And that's not what it was before, so I don't know what the percentage of that went up, but there's other ways to fund that. There's many, many different ways. It's like working down the budget, finding ways in which to take the money that's in the budget, redirecting it into other areas, but maybe to take care of the wastewater problem.
Thank you. And Daniel, same question to you. Will you vote to repeal the rate hikes?
So this question is a little confusing because of the fact that the rates were repealed. This is why our city council went ahead and did new rate studies. That's how we ended up getting the 35% with the 5.25% over the 5 years. The original rates was that a 35%, then it was going to increase to a 10%, then increase to another, I believe, 18%. The rates were repealed. It was just put in a new new 218 process went into effect. Now, do I believe that the council made the right decisions when they went ahead with this process? No. The consultant said by year 3, we would be able to meet bond obligations by year 3 with the rates that we have right now. Our rate should have been 35% and 5.25% for 3 years, or 35% and 2.5% for 5 years. We should have implemented an ordinance.
Thank you. And Angel, same question to you about Measure M.
Is it important that as elected officials that we respect the wishes of the people of Oxnard? The majority of the people of Oxnard voted to repeal that race. And so it is our duty to respect the wishes of you, the voters of Oxnard. And in order to make sure this works, we have to manage the budget correctly to make sure that we move those funds needed to repair that wastewater system. Now, I'm not going to disregard the issue. It needs to be fixed. It tremendously does. However, you, the people, are given an option, and the council did not respect that option. It is important that we as elected officials work together and make sure that we find a compromise with you, the people of Oxnard, so we can make sure we can manage the budget correctly to address these issues.
Thank you. Miguel, same question.
Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Oxnard and the mayor, Tim Finn, tried to shove down an 87 wastewater hike down your throat. 75% of the people from Oxnard voted no against it, and he turned around and tried to tell you no, he knows better than you, and he's trying to give it to you. One thing that I do, we do need a wastewater rate hike, but not 87%. You don't do it from the point where you're hurting people in the pockets, and the majority of the people, you need to listen to the people when they have spoken. That's not how democracy works. You need to listen to the people for what they want. You can come up with some kind of other resolution. Another thing is, the regional users, Huaynimi, CBC base, Camarillo, Channel Islands Harbor. You need to raise it up, not just on the residential, but all these are called residual users. Those wastewater rate hikes have not been raised up for years, or the commercial district. So I'm saying to you that you don't know this. Port Magoo, Port Huaynimi, Camarillo, Channel Islands Harbor, their rates have not been raised up. Ask your city council why that is.
Thank you. Carrie, same question to you. Will you vote to repeal the rate hike?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that's what the wish of the people is, and that's what we're going to do. Now, having said that, it's not going to be a day one thing that can be accomplished, because the city council has tied our hands by locking us into these bond measures that are credit with the banks, so that we can't reduce the rates. So we have to work on that first, and we'll do that. I will not rest until that is accomplished. And I believe there's others that will be elected that will do the same. And you know, I don't know where Mayor Flynn got his numbers from, but they are not correct. My bill has already gone up over $25 bucket of chicken. It's already past that. So I don't know where it's at, and we just got started, right? The rates just got started and the increase. So yes, I will support decreasing the rates and getting this under control.
Thank you. And Rosio, we'll wrap up with you on this question. Will you vote to repeal the rate hikes?
Yes, and one of the things that I wanted to also mention is by the end of 2020, it'll be up by 87% increase. And that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit for our people to pay, and also, especially if you're living on a budget. Especially if you're living on a budget, it's going to be hard for people. So we have to, again, going back, the plants will be spending, what, 74 million on upgrades, maybe? And where's all this money before? Where has it been spent? Has it been diverted to other areas? Well, that's one of the things we need to check on the finance of our city. Where's this money going to, and who's spending it, and why was it diverted, and why wasn't this plant upgraded as time went on? It has to be maintained. That's maintenance. And now you're telling me I got to pay for all this when all this other money was gone? No. We got to find other solutions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Candidates, I'm hoping you can do this in 30 seconds so we can finish on time. It's a quick question. John, we're starting with you. We asked this earlier in the evening. So, do you believe that the incumbent that you're challenging, in your case you are going for Oscar Madrigal's seat, do you feel that he is corrupt or has committed unethical behavior? Or do you believe that he has broken any laws or done anything for personal gain?
Excuse me. To be honest, I don't believe Oscar Madrigal has committed any crimes, things like that. The reason I think that the reason I'm running against him is because I think I have a much better sense of what the city of Oxnard needs, since I've worked for the city before. I've also worked for the federal government and the state government. And with my background running the Elks Lodge, I have a pretty good thing with numbers. So I don't think Oscar's broken any laws.
Thank you. And Daniel, same question to you. You're also running for Oscar Madrigal's seat. Do you feel like he's committed any crimes, or are there other issues that make you feel need to be addressed and he needs to be recalled?
So I just had a quick question. Is this a minute, or are you putting...
I'm asking you so we can finish on time, but I will let you go a minute if you have to.
Oh, okay. I was just wanting to make sure.
All right, well, we'll do 30 seconds. Moderator prerogative here. So Daniel and the rest of you, if you could do it in 30 seconds, give us your quick feel about why you're challenging Oscar and if you feel that he is, why he deserves to be recalled.
So the way that I see it is that this is a person that ran for office multiple times, disappeared. This is a person that on the VC Star candidate profile in 2016 listed none for any convictions or pleas or bankruptcies. 2018, none for convictions, pleas, or bankruptcies. But yet in 2012, 2013, 2014, listed that he had a DUI in 2009 and convicted in 2010. That is poor judgment, that is no integrity, that's no honesty in there.
Thank you. Angel, same question to you as far as your reasons for running against Oscar, and if you feel that he has done things on the council for personal gain or committed any crimes?
Councilmember Madrigal, I have no quarrel with him. However, I feel that I can do a better job in addressing the needs of the people. To begin with, he did not honor you, the voters' vote, and it's important that you have elected officials that respects your wishes, and that is why I feel I can do a better job than Councilmember Madrigal.
Thank you very much. And Miguel, same question to you. You're also challenging for the Oscar Madrigal seat if he's recalled.
Well, concerning Oscar Madrigal, he's a nice guy. You don't really want to throw mud at anybody. But I know I can do a better job. I'm a construction manager. When the main decisions come to be made, I'm there to do it. I'm here to tell you what situation that we're in and how we're going to get out of it. I'm not going to code it. I'm very honest, I'm very truthful, I'm very straightforward. So I'm not going to sit there and candy code anything. I'm going to tell you what it is that we need to get out of. So that's how I approach this right here. So like I said, I know I can do a better job than here. So I'm asking for your support because our people are angry here in the city of Oxnard, and it's time for change.
Thank you, Miguel. Harry, you are challenging for Bert Corello's seat if he's recalled. Do you feel that he's committed any crimes or committed any unethical behavior?
Well, you know, I think Bert Perello's a decent guy. I think he means well. I don't think he's knowingly committed any crime. I think he's been misinformed on many things within the council by the city staff and others. But, as I've said before, anytime you do not honor the vote of the people, that is corruption. So yes, he needs to be recalled.
Thank you. Ambrosio, you're challenging for Carmen Ramirez's seat if she is recalled. What is your views on Carmen's behavior, if you think she's committed any crimes or committed anything unethical?
No, I do not. The only thing is, I believe that what's going on is they're not informing the community. They get stagnant in there, and we need new blood in there. We need new blood to show the way, lead, and that's what I can do for the city of Oxnard. I've been with them here 20 years, so we need some changes, and with new blood, we can have it made, and we are a team all together. We're a big family.
Thank you. Francine, we'll wrap up the evening with you, and you are also challenging for Carmen Ramirez's seat. What is your views on her behavior and if she's done anything unethical or criminal?
So my views on all 5 of the council that are up there is at any time, any one of them could have requested Union Bank, who is their bondholder, to come forward and tell us exactly from the horse's mouth what needed to be done in regards to the rate increase. Not the consultant, not the consultant's consultant, not the city manager, from the horse's mouth. And on several times I had asked that. I had come to council, done my 3 minutes and said, why isn't Union Bank here? Why isn't Mitsubishi Bank here? Telling us from the horse's mouth.
Thank you. I have a couple of announcements, but first, how about a round of applause for these 7 gentlemen?